Hello everyone, this is the first playtest of CS Orifice by EasyPK. This is actually a hostage map, and this is a 10v10 playtest. I don't really have a lot of exposition to say here other than the map overview is back, and let's get right into that. Alright, this is CS Orifice, and just instantly looking at it you can see that this is very much inspired by Office, but also very different in the sense that Office has very few paths, and this map has kind of a lot. You'll see that in the playtest, but what you'll also see is that the paths, the way that they're designed, is similar to Office. So we do get a lot of that gameplay. Some of these areas look, like paper and those kind of areas from Office, but there's also a lot of more unique stuff, like this alley, like this kind of thing isn't really an Office, as well as this longer path out here. But this is kind of a map where you just kind of have to watch people play it, because it's really hard to guess how people will play it or how it will play in general, because there's just so much stuff going on. So I'm not really going to cover anything else other than this is a hostage map and hostages are on that side. There's a couple different spawns. The ones that we got in the playtest were one was back there and one was over here, and then the rescue zone is right here. So yeah, let's get into the playtest. Alright.
Alright, boys.
Now is the time.
New office spot.
So in this map, are these the only two hostage spawns, or are there other ones that it could be?
There's a lot of spawns.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow.
Chairs of physics. Whoa. Chairs of physics.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's just been taken.
He's
Lights
so
on.
good.
Oh, it's right. Oh, dang.
Yeah, basically if they get out of the building, then you basically lose more or less.
I had
I wanna push in
time.
like a half second back, but no. I couldn't push out the update today.
I was too busy
Alright, so-
pushing the chairs around.
Yeah, okay. Hey, if you enjoy it, whatever. Push the chairs around.
Oh my god, that is so fast.
Holy fuck. Yeah, CTs are impressive. They're so good, man.
Oh, yeah.
Damn, dude, he's just so good.
I was so not ready for that guy to be there.
Yeah, it's a little faster than you'd imagine. Office remake kind of being.
No, it's not because it's because there's so much map that you cannot tell where the choke points are. Because like there's like about three times more choke points than there maybe is in another like a standard map. So it's so hard to tell where the choke points actually are, or where the ones that will actually be used or whatever. Sorry.
Good going.
Noise.
Wait,
Yep.
what?
God,
I don't know, I heard the door.
Oh, I think the door's automatically shut. I think that's what you were hearing.
They do. Sorts of spawn.
He's on the other house.
Yep.
Yeah, so you can still play really defensive as T. It's just, yeah, they have a lot of angles that could possibly come up early.
So with that Valkyrie, it looks pretty good.
What looks good? I was listening.
The balcony
Basically,
area by the door.
I still did not hear you. You were so quiet, Kale.
Balcony.
Balcony door.
Balcony door.
Sorry. Alright.
Right here in front of the smoke. On the other side.
Gotcha. I gotta say, the fucking right alleyway is scary. I'm gonna try to push it with a Molotov.
I'll just put an op.
Nice.
Let's see.
Yeah, they get there fast.
Oh god. Sorry.
Oh no.
Okay, the op was a mistake.
I got plastered on that alleyway.
Oh fuck, I didn't turn off shorthand income on this config.
See that?
I'll turn that off 1 second.
Sure, it's fine.
It's not as big of a deal in this. In comp tests, I don't know why the config was broken, but it would just be enabled on matches, and I had no clue why.
I'm gonna do it.
Go ahead.
Just want to
One in paper.
Oh, he's behind me. He got the hostage.
Main hall.
Oh,
Oh, is that the
he's
one?
gonna get the
They're going
hostage.
another one. Push.
Good job.
Nice. He had the,
Okay,
the angle.
so if the second hostage is being taken, there's no info about that? I guess so.
Damn, you gotta buy armor each round. I keep forgetting. Casual, but you gotta buy armor.
Yes.
No bullets, fuck.
Molotov.
Do we know which hostage? Oh, the right one?
I think they cannot jump. Yeah.
Hostage is down in front of the vent.
You have nades.
Like they cannot push. They can.
You can jump over the truck.
I'm not sure.
I did it earlier. You can do it.
Jump from this side.
No, you can do it from the other side. I did it earlier. That's an angle.
Leg.
Yeah. You can shoot through it too, a little bit. Alright, but not be so aggressive.
Okay, we got short-handed income, but I just turned it off, so we won't have it next round.
Let's stop getting clapped. Talking about me personally.
How many rounds it has?
10 on both, like the old casual rules that we did. Or at least it's supposed to be. Hopefully I didn't break it again. He pushed.
Doesn't show the rounds.
Yeah, I don't know why. Alright, Wynell's about to get an ace here. Good job. Yeah, I think they got it.
Oh, so close.
Counter-terrorists win.
Did he not see you?
Slide.
Fuck. Well done.
You do have to react very fast.
Go, go, go.
Sorry.
I'm throwing a grenade.
We have one person on the other side of the map.
There's so many people here.
Throwing smoke.
There's a CV holding the spawn. We don't hope.
Oh yeah, he is. Don't peek the windows.
Yes, hostage.
It's jumping on top of the truck, I think.
Smoke.
It's trying.
Second time I've got a kill through that angle.
I don't know if it's possible to jump that with a
It is.
hostage.
You can strafe onto this, and then you can get up here.
With a hostage.
Oh, with the hostage, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming you can. I think you
I
can.
tested it with the hostage.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's not that hard of a jump.
Yeah, I haven't played hostage much, so no, so well, I don't know.
Clearly not an office level.
Unfortunate, really.
I'm going Molotov.
I've smoked that every single round in Terry. What are you doing?
I did all of
I'm gonna molly that. Owned. Owned.
They're at the library. Top.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh my god! I think he just shot me. I don't even think he saw me. Oh my god! Some insane shots going on here.
Dude, this fucking ATM machine. Keep thinking it's a person.
Terrorists win.
Spooky.
Play lines. What on?
Alright. secret strats here. I don't even know if it's that good because it looks like we just claim left alley every time, but I do have like a smoke that you can fucking throw at the upper balcony.
Move. Smoke.
Wow.
Oh my god.
I'm bringing the hostages out.
Super low.
Alright, now you're gonna be able to see if you can make the jump.
Grenade.
It's so hard.
You didn't even jump!
It's the clipping is all fucked up there.
No, you didn't even jump. Come on, man. Come
I
on.
tried. I'll try it
We should all
again.
just run somewhere with Zeus's.
You can do that. I'm
I'm gonna
good.
do that. You guys are all lame as fuck.
What you trying to do?
I'm gonna Zeus a man today.
Go for it.
Grenade out.
I believe.
Oh my god.
There's one outside.
I'm like running all the way through this one.
Down the city spawn.
Oh, they're so good.
I'm thinking we need to turn this shit around.
What makes you think that?
We've been losing.
Yanel's so good.
Let's go.
Do what he did to me.
I don't think we've had this many players that have playtested in fucking forever. Jeez.
Throwing a grenade.
We're back.
The map is so good, people can't resist.
No, obviously it's my YouTube channel plugging the playtesting, of course.
Oh yeah, of course.
Either
By the way, where's the video?
Oh! Damn, I got blasted. I started talking.
Ow. But just like I'm playing Office, huh?
There's a what?
Yeah.
Oh! I believed.
I had no ammo.
Oh man, so many shotguns. I think I need to adhere to the. I need to conform or whatever.
You know, if I was you, I just wouldn't run out of ammo.
Yeah, see, I miss my shots. That's why I don't use. That's why I just buy the dualies every round. And I didn't there.
I'm cleaning guns today, man. Flashbang.
Ouch.
Hi, Kale.
Oh, hi.
I love how I can peek this angle from here. This is so stupid. Like, for them to play into this.
Oh, we're so back.
I'm going up there. Hit a Zeus. What a guy, dude.
Just like me for
I am en route with the hostage.
Alright, see it.
Middle. Freeze. You can hear
Oh,
him.
he's above us. Don't worry, I got
I
you,
thought he was
boss.
gonna cut you off.
Easy money.
This is definitely a scary map to fucking approach. Like you kind of don't know what's gonna go fucking down.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move
Kind of
out.
like it though. Like it's chaotic.
Grenade out. Incendiary out. Grenade out.
Press the button on the side of my mouse. God damn it.
Hello.
Throwing flashbang.
Flash myself.
Incendiary out. Deploying flashbang.
Where?
Is he there?
Throwing a grenade.
I don't know. I'm so lost as where he is. Near me. Windows.
I am en route with a hostage.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
This time for sure.
Shoot him.
Well, you made it.
Hell yeah. Testing complete, he made it. Are you satisfied?
Yo, I'm fucking rich. What the hell?
That's going out west. I'll never
Hostage moment.
Throwing a grenade.
Thank you. Reloading. Ow.
What?
You doing okay, sir? Oh my god.
Rip.
Died.
He's definitely into the left late.
This. I'm gonna open the door and die.
Or you
Yes.
keep doing that, yep. Nice shot.
He's gonna be at the.
I'm stuck.
I think there's a pillar right behind you. Yeah. Oh, no.
Probably gonna be at the.
Where's Xayer?
He's AFK.
Oh.
Curve out, am I right? You got it.
Hey.
I mean, they didn't kill him. Oh, they just didn't see him.
Oh, nice try, dude.
Sad.
Damn, I thought Xayer had that.
Yeah.
It was close.
I'm so afraid of going to the left alley.
Come on, jump, jump.
Let's push.
Lit heavily inside. Oh my gosh, yeah, he's in there. It's just like right inside the glass part. That's a different guy. There's multiple people in there.
Throwing smoke.
Oh, this is so bad.
Spooky. Sounded like a guy at the spawn.
Yep. I will say they do technically have 3 more people than us because there's.
Yeah.
So I mean, really, we won that round because there were 3 left. That's how that works. So.
Not gonna lie, it's going pretty well. A little more aggressive than I thought it would be, but I mean, being 3 down, like, it's pretty even. Not too bad. Yanel calmed down.
Go, go, go. Decoy.
Exit simulator. So
Another one.
Break room.
Good job. Oh yeah, it's locked from that side.
yeah, I got you. Bud, I got you. He died. We're so bad.
Dude, that was amazing. Good shit.
Does somebody need a drop?
Now I see you.
I don't know why that cracked me up, man. Like you so casually went up to the door and it was just like click click like a fucking the lock noise. Just hearing you sigh. It's amazing.
Decoy.
Owned.
Oh my god, there's like 3 more.
There's 2 on the right side outside.
So many outside.
There's another.
There's-
What the fuck?
Deploying flashbang.
You can straight this. I can't.
Yeah.
Still outside. good.
Okay.
Shit. Yeah. Can't really do a jump like that too much.
This is the last one, right?
Yes.
Ligginell's so good, man. Tried to fucking attack him and he already had the off ready.
Let's go.
Alright, here we go.
Ow.
Grenade out.
What?
Grenade. Throwing fire.
Oh no.
You're burning the hostage. Oh no.
Sit left through that door. How are you alive?
Not for long.
Super clutch incoming.
All right.
That's right.
Who would like to give feedback first?
I can go first.
All right. I think Chief talked first.
Alright, as a T and CT, I mostly played this area right here, Chief in Game, Spectate. I mostly played this kind of like outside and little corridor area right here. I will first tell you that T's absolutely despise this outside route because CTs don't need to come out here. What they need to do is run up here, climb on a ladder, make a metal stand right here, open one squeaky to a glass view, ouch, to a glass view of a second squeaky, which I got a few kills, just, you know, I can stare through the window, get an easy few kills. Oh no, I'm lost.
So should I tell you the reasoning behind that, or do you just want to continue with the just everything that you?
Regardless of the reason, it's just it did not feel comfortable at all for them to take this. It's just the amount of noise, double squeakies, getting into an upper area which can easily be held down, and a lot with the map is that CTs can play. They have aggressive options. They just don't need to. They have better passive options. Like they can challenge the choke point up here in this close quarters area. They don't need to. They can just play these
Do you mean
like areas
T's,
back here.
Chief?
I mean T. Sorry. Yep. Wrong side. T's can play more passively. Hostage map.
Oh, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that alleyway is actually made for CT. This whole alleyway, it's made for CT to push on various angles. But I do feel what you mean. I personally thought I'd be more comfortable pushing in like out there as T, and I got destroyed. You know what I mean? Like I do feel like I need to tweak it a little bit. So agreed.
Yeah, Ts really don't need to come. I mean, they can see under the feet here. The CTs don't get the good option of being out here. They get the much better option of just sitting up here and dealing just with this one route and listening for the 1,000 audio cues for this tight little second area up here.
Yeah, the double door. I was contemplating double door, like removing the double door a bit, but I don't know. I just thought maybe like having two doors there gives you the opportunity to like hear them twice and just react to the situation. Like maybe just having them not auto close makes it more.
Oh yeah, auto close did confuse me a few times.
Yeah, that. I was thinking though, because I tried throwing a grenade in there. I tried doing multiple things like to stop them when they did do the push there, and it just like backfired. So I do feel like tweaks are needed there. So agreed.
Yeah, CT or Ts will get plenty of audio cues and time to prepare for that. So I think you can give CTs a little bit better time trying to take this upper area. But yeah, as a T and CT, this is mostly the area I played in. Honestly, just both outside areas, especially this one. This is way too cluttered. Like I'm trying to look at a dozen different things at once.
It is meant to be cluttered. So yeah.
Even if it's meant to be, it's just a little bit like the clipping
It's too
goes
narrow.
off.
I agree.
And you're hitting things a lot of the time. You don't know where exactly to look. Just I think
Yeah.
this area needs to be simplified. Also, this is unique, I guess. I don't know why this upper area really exists. You already got a decent amount of verticality and angles and tight areas, so I'm not sure exactly why this upper area needs to exist. It's just adding more complexity to a very straightforward, narrow route that already has some issues. I personally would remove this and declutter and simplify this outside area. Otherwise, most of the interiors I didn't really play. Again, it was just this kind of right area. But that is all the feedback I have.
Thank you, Mr. Chief. Who would like to give feedback next?
I can go.
Kale,
next,
go
unless
ahead.
somebody wants to go. Okay.
Got you on spec.
Cool. So, first glance, I thought the map would be way too big, but surprisingly, it kind of worked out. Maybe that's just because we play with a lot of people, but I don't know. I thought the size was overall fine. The problem is, in my opinion at least, is that there's just a lot of complexity here. It's like, for
Yeah,
instance,
sure.
like Office, right? If you look at Office, there's like a handful of main choke points. Sure, there's like different ways you can go about going to those choke points, but at some point you're funneled into one area from both teams, right? But like here, just to get to this one area, there were so many different pathways. Here, this is like all interconnected. It's very complex. And sure, it may play well just from like running around in the casual setting like this, right? But like, it's very hard to tell where people are coming from, where they are, where you're getting shot from.
Happens a little fast, right?
It's not necessarily that it's fast. Is that my problem is it's just there's just so much going on. You have a hard time discerning where things are, where to go, where people are, where the objective is. You know, like,
Do you think that with a little bit of time and like nuance,
yes, time
with
helps
like a
that.
community learning a map kind of deal?
I mean,
you know, there
that's
could be.
definitely a thing. You can learn the map. By the
Oh,
end
no,
of the
I just
game,
mean,
it helped.
yeah.
Like, I knew the map by the end of the game, but still, I feel like there's a lot of complexity here, and I feel like you could focus some areas.
For sure. Yeah, I was feeling that too, just as I was trying to do different pushes as the T. I was just like getting rocked by various angles that I didn't think I'd get hit by. And I was kind of half expecting that, like to view the map differently, like as I was playing it with real people than the bots, obviously. Like Yanel really like showed me like, wow, that the fucking T's or CTs can be really aggressive and really like cut off a big section of the map just by pushing into the kitchen area. And he clapped me several times like that just because I was like, oh, you know, this is safe to like over here. I'll use some cover. And as I'm going through just, you know, the one hallway, the doorway, he just claps me. So obviously I didn't expect that. But many other things, yeah, I agree. There's just a little bit too much complexity in a few areas.
But yeah, I could talk about like angles, spots, different movement that sucks, like cover visibility. I could talk about a whole bunch of random nuanced shit like that on this map that I think could be fixed. But I think overall your main issue is that it's too complex and that you need to focus some areas. And by the time that you finish fixing that, a lot of those same issues, like the visibility, the cover angles, etc., are just going to be changed anyway. So I'm not going to bother going into that. I think your main issue is just focusing up some main areas, getting like 3 to 4 main choke points, maybe 5 if you really want.
Yeah, like I could definitely see cutting one out and maybe opening up some hallway space, and then that feeling like it's less constricting.
Yeah. Other than that, just the squeaky doors closing on themselves. I don't like that. I don't think anyone will ever like that. This hallway is really small.
Yeah, it's tight.
Block your teammates consistently in that hallway.
Yeah, I was hoping for no solid teammates, but I mean it's you know, it's a
Probably forgot to do it.
Yeah, everyone was solid, but it's all good.
Other than that, the last thing I have is just this doorway being only openable from one side, I think, right?
Yeah,
it's very unintuitive. You got to make it more obvious. And honestly, I would recommend just not doing it in general because CS players will just not expect that at any point.
I figured that one would be kind of like the thing that would be very contentious, but I wanted to just keep it because it's a mechanic I've never seen before. And I feel like it adds a little bit of, you know, like a dynamic layer of having like the center of the whole alleyway kind of be like an area where you either need some team assistance or you need to like think again of what your plan is.
It's a cool idea, cool gimmick. You can make it work.
I want to say
Currently, right now,
yeah, I want to
it
say
adds
I've seen that
nothing.
on one other map before, and like an actual release map, and I hated it there as well. So
Yeah, it's generally not fun, and currently it adds nothing in my opinion. You could remove it and make it a normal door, and I would find zero difference with the map, personally speaking.
Yeah, it was one of the later things that I did add. I just thought it was kind of interesting enough to play around with.
But yeah, I'm gonna close this off. Just main thing: reduce the complexity, focus on the areas. That's it. Sorry for taking so long.
No, I
You'll be
definitely
executed
appreciate it. I
now,
cut you
Kale.
off a little bit.
Sorry.
all right, cool. Thank you. Who would like to give feedback next? We have, other than me, we have Gihori and Reed. Would you like to go, Gihori?
Yes, I could.
All right.
I mean, the one thing that I'm not understanding is like what's your objective of the map, because it's like, you know, like a lot of times we like to say that there are like two types of map. There's the competitive ones and then there's the fun ones. As of right now, yours leans definitely towards the fun one. Like there's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of like things to be discovered. Yeah, and there's like enough, I would say, map, just for you to like not be forced to like just go into the same chokes every time and just, you know, play the same game every time.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know, like as a fun map, I would say that yours does a pretty good job. Like if anything, like I'll just tell you to like just polish some of the angles, some of the clutter, like getting stuck on say, well, pretty much everything, like this type of thing, like getting stuck on like, I don't know, this door over here as
Yeah,
it come
some
out,
small things. I got you.
as it come out. Yeah, it's like just fix those, like fix some as well, maybe some of the cover that's like kind of like just fractures everything and doesn't really serve as cover, and ship it. But it's like, I don't know, yeah, I don't know, it's like a lot of like nifty things that you can discover, like.
So, have you? I appreciate what you just said. And to that point, no one has even discovered one of the Easter eggs, which is really interesting. And we had a ton of people in here, and I was even like shooting them myself and whatnot, which is very funny. But there is a hidden Easter egg series in here, and then I appreciate what you said. There's definitely like a layer where I just wanted to make like a map that, like you were saying, kind of like a, you know how like Office is kind of seen as certain players like home map, you know, like
Yeah,
there's
yeah, like a lot of people like just find like all the
yeah
little tricks to it.
they and they just find like a level of like comfort being in like a certain type of map because it plays differently than the other ones. Like sure, Office has, you know, the two choke points, but like that gets tiresome really quickly, you know what I mean? Like there's many different types of Office players. You know, you'll find the ones that do those crazy rushes that actually work, that are like very fucking smart about how to play the hostages and all of that. But like with this one, I tried to really just like go against the grain of what was a hostage map. Like obviously it's very complex, you know what I mean? Like there's certain spots that are way too tight, way too like, you know, just based on like first glance of you going through the map right now, just because I've been away from it just for a few days, you know, I can definitely see like there's just areas where the choke points don't work out exactly how I wanted them to. And like the chaos of having this many people was actually like, it was interesting, like having Yanel fucking clap me a few times when I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this push, you know, see how this works out, and then just had it just totally not work. Like, you know, I could definitely see just lowering complexity a little bit, like I think Kale was saying, would definitely
Yeah, but
help,
it's like my the point that I'm trying to say is like, what do you want to accomplish this map? Because here's the thing, right? If you're trying to like make this map competitive, I have sincerely some bad news for you, because it's like I could not like understand like people, I think everyone in general like didn't understand like where the chokes are, how to hold stuff, how to like play this map at all. Like most of the maps, like I'd say that like most of the maps, like even though they are complex, there are some nuances, there are some strategies that you're not going to find out in a single playtest. Well, it would be impossible to find all the strategies like in a single playtest. But it's like this one, people didn't understand like anything. It's just like I said, chaos, which is fun.
It was pretty chaotic. I feel like there was a few people that saw what was like how to really play it towards the end of it. Like I saw Squid like really holding the like paper junction, and as long as you're like quiet in that area, you can chain a few frags together. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. It's. I feel like definitely this is a map where you're not gonna get like the best first experience, I guess, from viewing it. Like I don't know. There from seeing the chat, at least there are a few people that seem to really enjoy it, and there are a few people that just were confused.
Yeah, it's just but I really don't see, because like you're gonna need, like, here's the thing, right? You're gonna need more structure. Like, you're gonna need some better defined choke points. You're gonna need like some better defined areas that, like, you know, people, like, say a team can take and like keep control of. For example, like this area over here, right? This is like a bunch of, like, about 5 or 6 rooms that are like all interconnected right here and
Yeah.
here and then here, around
It's
here.
too tight. Yeah.
It's not too tight. It's just too complex of an area and that kind of stuff. Like this whole area that I just walked through all around here is just like a bunch of rings that, like, you can miss someone and you cannot like hold. You cannot do anything. Like, look at this. Like, imagine the following, right? I'm pushing here alone. Like, how do I clear stuff? Like, right? I can push here and everything like that and clear all of this. But like, just because of like the way that like this structure, like, I cannot assert that like there is no one here and that just grab me.
So,
There's like no way for me to like methodically like clear these areas. There's no method to like, and this like
fully
to
hear
alter
what
your
you're saying.
map.
Yeah.
It's,
No.
like,
Just to your point. I was trying just in general. Just to your point, like. I was trying to maybe make it more of like a fast-paced team assault kind of like
it does
you
not
have
become
to,
team though. It becomes
you
chaos.
get what I'm
telling
saying
you.
though. With I definitely hear what you're saying, but with like 5 people that know the map, if you go, or 10 people that know the map and they're playing it competitively, and you have each thing kind of matter, and you have people kind of go into their
I will say
roles.
I will also touch on specifics on that later when I get to feedback. So if you have more thoughts on that, I was gonna talk about it later anyway. So.
I mean, you can go in now. Sincerely, I don't know. It's like for me that's pretty much it.
I totally
it's just
understand what you're saying
chaos.
there. I just kind of figured you would have at least one to, you know, not, you wouldn't really be playing solo. Like you would always be playing in a network.
I understand, but it's like that is just not how, you know,
just saying.
CS really goes. Like, if I know that you're trying to like make something that's new, but it just not how it is. Like, imagine the following, right? Just small thing. Food for thought, like, right, you want to push this as a team, but you're like pushing a single corridor like this. How do you coordinate this, like, push as a team?
If one guy is main here, right, and the other one is side hole to your right, he has a better vantage point of seeing who's in this room at an earlier time.
Okay. Step back for a second. Which one is side hole? Because it's like I don't know. Right? This one.
Yeah, that one connecting in. This is like the kitchen area.
Man, it's just like, and then you
got.
There's
a lot going on. I know.
Yeah,
it's a lot to expect. It's a lot to expect someone to just pick it up, and I'm not telling you your point is invalid at all. I'm not telling you your point is invalid. I'm just saying that it's hard for someone to just pick this map up and see every design aspect, I guess, because I agree with a lot of things. I just also feel like maybe in a different environment it could be a little different. Like, obviously it was chaotic for me, you know what I mean? Like, I was unsure like how anyone would really be playing the map on either side. So it was kind of interesting to see a lot of people come out here with an AWP, because I was, you know, thinking that may be an actual thing, like T side come out there with an AWP. Which is actually the reason that area has the verticality, because if someone knows that area is strong,
what area?
Team, all the way to because you saw how many people were drawn to the truck area that I think someone was saying was bad.
That is just like how how like you design stuff, like, right? Just like go this way, you get thrown to the left, right, this, and then you just go that way.
And if you have like an AWP or something, you could either go left and have like the low AWP angle, you can go up high and have like the upper shot onto the people.
Yeah, that's just how you throw people around the map. For example, like this area over here, like it was kind of like given to T just because, like, you know, the way that kind of stuff connected. Like, I don't know, just say as CT comes here, he generally gets thrown like here, and then he sees the open way, he goes in here. He fights mostly here. He doesn't fight here as much, and this just gets given to T's. And also this area over here is like fully open and have a lot of space for T's to work with. Meanwhile, CTs kind of have to play like this, So it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know, this whole area gets given to Ts. It's just how you like structure a map and that kind of stuff.
I,
So it's like,
what's funny about that area is that's the spot that I was saying Yanil was clapping me from. I was trying to push it as a T, and he was just destroying
yeah,
me.
yeah,
His
you have
CT
like,
gets there so fast, and then you
yeah, the
have just a
CTs have
quick
like a
shot.
lot of space to like work around, and then
Yeah.
just like Ts don't. It's just this type of thing that you gotta look. You know, whatever. I'm taking too much time here. Squid, please.
Reed, do
Well,
you have?
I had
I
a
was gonna
couple
say,
of things.
Reed, you can go first.
Just pretty much everything that Guihori said, but I think I see what you might be meaning as far as like the team assault. Just give my 2 cents on that real quick, 'cause it'll be
Yeah, you know what I mean?
short.
Like if one guy was like man and he like saw something, he could tell the guy that's in the other hallway, he could assault that.
Yeah,
They could
so
work together to
that's
hit the different angles and sweep the area. Yeah,
to
like
me it feels like it's fun at first glance, and I think this is definitely this map. Like I was playing, I felt like, oh, this has like some real potential for 10v10, like a lot of shenanigans, right? But I think when you when you try to do like, I guess like you were saying, like, one guy goes here, then one guy goes here, then it's like, if you don't have room for more than one teammate to push, you're leaving out a lot of what CS is and the trading and the gunplay as that, like,
it was a little too tight. Like everything was a little bit too tight in my
yeah, it's
opinion,
like,
you know what I
like
mean?
this
Like
one,
I
like this
definitely felt
side,
that.
yeah, it's like this side is like, you got a spot for somebody here and then one here, right? And there's just not that kind of space. It's like very tight choke points, like everybody else has already said, and they've gone into way more detail on that. I'm not going to go into it. I forget who said it, but there is some like I think maybe keeping some of the complexity would be good because is this map intended for like 10v10 or 5v5?
I wanted it to be kind of like a 10v10. Like I was trying to, get the attention of like the casual kind of
Mm-hmm.
community because like like Office, it's not necessarily the most competitive map, but there's a group of players that take it super seriously, and that's kind of the same vibe I was going with, just because Hostage is never going to be a mainstay, unfortunately, in Counter-Strike. Like Diffusal just beats it 10 times over with the amount of players. And just for some reason, just, there's a stigma about what a hostage map is and what like hostage game will actually be, like in terms of skill ceiling. You know what I mean? So like I just tried
Yeah.
to do something completely different than like what Office is, but still kind of like pay
I mean,
homage to it.
yeah, it's right now. I think what it has going for it is it's fun, it's fresh, and there's a lot. Like you said, there's Easter eggs, and
Have
I
you
think
found any?
there's a lot going. I haven't found any myself. I'm gonna go look later, but there's a lot of like there's a lot going on, and so it's like if you try to lean competitive, you're gonna have to cut it down a lot.
Right.
And I think its strength is not in that forte, especially because it's hostage, right?
Yeah,
And it's like,
that was kind of the the feel. It was like I'm gonna build it for larger community servers, but I do agree with like even if I was to just continue it with that notion, like it is a little bit too tight. So like there would be a lot of areas where like I would have to think about in this situation where like we're it's solid teammates and whatnot, where I didn't really get
yeah.
stuck on too many people just because I was playing with people that kind of saw that as well.
Well,
But
it's
like,
less about getting stuck on people and more of just like, if I'm holding this with an M4, I'm gonna burst down 3 guys that are running through this door because they're all lined up. They're all lined up. They have no way to throw any meaningful util out here. Like they can throw a smoke, but I can still just spray through it and hit at least 2.
I just feel like it's a little bit stronger than like the Office angles. Like I kept going back to Office and just looking at like how abusive all the angles were, and like knowing I've played that map way too much to I'd
That's
like to
true.
admit, but it's like you know that map is just honestly it's not even really fun anymore. And if you go on to like the matchmaking servers, every single person just joins T, and they were doing that for like the last 2 years on CS:GO anyway.
A big thing this map fixes that Office has is the fact that you can just camp like literally 2 rooms in the entire map and you never have to leave.
Yeah.
With all the openings, there's a lot more to do here. But I
And
think, having this hostage all the way in the back doesn't really help either when you can't get, past the outside, or I feel like
There
especially
are
pushing
different
through
hostage
here.
spawns. There's a hostage spawn. There's 3 hostage spawns within that room, that large room right there, which totally changes up the dynamic of a match.
I see.
Um,
Where are the other ones?
there's 2 in the lobby, which is like the closed off entrance. There's 3.
This one? Or is
Yeah,
it here?
there's 2 in the copy room with the blue right there. There's there's the one in the office. There's 3 that could spawn in the conference room, which is the T spawn. And then there's the break room, which is the one to the left that has like 3 spawns or 4 spawns. So there could be like 2 that go low and 2 that go high. So like it makes assaulting, from the left like very lucrative if they're over there, you know what I mean? It puts more of the focus over there.
Yeah.
So
But
it's really like you were kind of asking me. It really is, I guess, for casual, but it's more of like a map where if you have a lot of map knowledge, it could open up into a competitive map, which is kind of like how I see Office and hostage maps in general.
yeah, I mean, by the end, I had a pretty good idea of the layout, but I think going back to the point about hostages, like we played 40 minutes, right? And it's like we like once the hostage spawns are selected, is your 40 minutes with this hostage here, and that's gonna be a lot of people's experiences with the map, the first map or the first match, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
like they
So
might
luck of the
see
draw.
this, and they might, the server might be somewhat full, and they have to play CT, or maybe
Hey, but that's not
everybody
that
starts
bad. You gotta
leaving on
throw some
CT.
flashes. You gotta throw some smokes. That's what the
Well, but
elbow's
that's the
for.
thing, right? It's like you have all these other, like you have plenty of hostage spawns, right? And
Well, you don't like the all the way in the back?
I'm just saying that this might not be the best use of your hostage spawns, just because hostage already being such a T-sided format, especially if you want this map to be more competitive amongst people that know it, because it's like
I got you. Like
like
play
I was
to
trying to play this, fun and try to like do different things, right? But if I was playing this like hyper sweat mode, I literally would have camped probably either this outside area, this hostage room, or if I had an op, probably this hallway.
that hole
Or
is scary, man.
this
I tried
corner. I
using it.
cannot tell you how many times. Every time I pushed through
Turn
this
around
room, I
from
died
that
this
corner.
corner here.
Look into the corner.
What?
All the way in the corner. You don't see it? Did someone kill it? Yeah,
I'm not sure.
there's something in the corner there.
Is that where it starts?
Yeah,
I'll have
it's
to take a
just
look.
one of the few.
But
There's a screen in the security room that gives you a little hint.
oh,
But yeah, sorry if you were
yeah,
talking about something more. Yeah, that area I feel like has a lot of draw to it. You know what I mean? Oh, now
yeah.
you
So
see it.
what's also difficult here is I don't have a molly, but I guess yeah, you could molly it or something. But I guess just my feeling is like it can already be like if you're playing this map hyper competitively, it's already really easy to lock this down on T side. If you're being a real sweat about it, especially if you have your hostages back here, you can make it. If you're really trying, you can make it on T side so that they can never reach this room, and they're forced to play the other hostage.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
it's a scary room, but I thought that with nades and utility and whatnot, you could take out the conference room kind of somewhat easily. Not easily, but you got to kind of like breach and clear, throw a flash, do something like that.
yeah, it's just CS
Doesn't
aim
always
duels
work
can
out.
CS aim duels. It's like you have to have the openness of space. One thing I was thinking about while other people were giving their commentary was like, this ring right here. I feel like this wall could honestly be broken down, and maybe you shift this wall if you're afraid of somebody seeing that deep. But it's like this thematically, even this can all just be one room here, like this elevator bank with this, and it's like that alone like clears things up and makes it a bit
Yeah,
simpler.
I think it definitely needs a little bit more like legibility, like you
Yeah.
guys were saying, and maybe
Choosing your centers of play. Like this one, I like this room because it's large, and even though it doesn't get like the most play, just because I feel like this
it
kind of
can get
hard
a lot of
to,
play though because there's hostage
yeah,
spawns in there, so you can kind of like
yeah, and it's
force a
like,
lot of the action kind of like in the center of the map, in the halls,
hmm
and then towards this area.
Yeah, but especially if you're catering to a casual audience, like unless you're specifically targeting like a casual hardcore where it's like they're going to use utility, a lot of the casual audience is just there to, pick up a gun and shoot and run around a map. And so the map should be, kind of aware that not every piece of util that can be purchased is going to be purchased in the first place.
Yeah, you just
Which
gotta
means,
be
like,
just gotta watch out for the 10 smokes on the T side. Once they see
Yeah.
that it's Orifice, like, oh shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's for the most part. I think maybe one thing that my like one minor annoyance, probably the most, is the clipping on this ramp here. It's like, I think that also goes back to what the other guy was saying about focusing on
those
like your
boxes,
specific
man.
paths. The boxes is I'm fine with the boxes. I just think, you clip this at like a ramp or like, something to where I don't have to jump this time and this time.
Just gotta stack even more boxes and make it look unrealistic and have that little step ladder.
Yeah, something
I
like
know what
that.
you're saying. It's I tried to make it as smooth as possible with how vertical that little thing was.
Yeah, because it's like, especially if you expect somebody to like want to play, like thousands of rounds on it, right? It's like, that's one of the things I noticed real quick is, how smooth does it feel to play? Like if I know where I'm going, how smoothly can I get there, and how much of this like feels like a hindrance? So I think there was that
Yeah.
one, and then
That area was supposed to be a little weird. Like I've kind of had it in the back of my mind to try to widen that area a little bit, but like trying to do the what's it
this
called?
one. So
Yeah,
there's this, but then there's like, I think that, yeah, it's this one I get stuck
yeah,
on.
I fixed it up in a patch I like already have. I just didn't want to
Okay,
release it
yeah.
before the playtest.
Yeah, that's chill, but yeah, just things like that, like making sure your main pathways are like clean, because honestly, if it looks a little unrealistic, like nobody's going to be nitpicking. Like, I mean, you said you fixed this one already, right? But it's like
Yeah.
if somebody's like an inch off the ground, right, like standing on this ramp, nobody's gonna be nitpicking that, because this is just so gameplay oriented. Like nobody's gonna be seeing those feet and being like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
I'm surprised no one boosted up. I mean, there's really no point to do the boosts. Yeah, just onto that little vent right there.
On here?
Yeah, I'm surprised no one did it, but
I didn't
have
even
to-
quite realize that was playable.
Yeah, you have to use Team Minute.
It makes sense though.
I just thought it'd be funny. I thought someone would do it.
I think that's pretty much all I have to say though.
Well,
Otherwise,
I
it was
appreciate
a
it,
fun
Jack.
experience.
Thank you.
Alright. Thank you. Let me pull out my notes here.
It's got notes.
Alright, I'm gonna hopefully try not to... yeah, because I go last, so I will forget if I don't write it down. Alright, so the first thing I will say is I think the map has a lot of individually interesting areas. Like I think this area with the windows is conceptually interesting, but I think a lot of the problem is kind of what was said in that there's just too much stuff. So if in theory, if you're playing this choke point, you have these windows, right, and you just fight these, and then you fight this angle. The problem is that not only do you have those angles, but you also have up here. And honestly, this is mostly this area specifically, is you have these up here. But that basically also applies to everywhere else, where if you're somewhere, there's like 5 different places that other people can be, and you can't really, play any. So my first comparison in that sense goes to, I mean, Office I think is the polar opposite, where there's just like nothing, and it's just sit behind a smoke every round.
Yeah, there's no options, and this one there's too many.
I think this is too far in the other direction. I think that a lot of the options really need to be consolidated down, and for that reason, I think if we played this in a 5v5, I think it would be unplayable, and I think we kind of saw that a little bit. There were rounds where, for most of the round, there was like maybe 3 people alive on both teams, and what happened like every single round is once we had a lot of people. I mean, this at the start we saw this as well, but basically, what would happen? One of 2 things. Either one, they would go to pick up the hostage and then just have no clue where the other team could be, and then just get flanked by some insane path that, they'd have no way of knowing where anybody is. You just have no way of knowing where anybody is. Or if that didn't happen, is you would be defending this, which depending on how things are set up, this rescue zone is so close to this. It's just so ridiculously easy to get the hostage if, you know, they aren't right there, which is really, really not how hostage is kind of designed to be played. And I would clarify, as somebody who's worked on hostage map and, you know, playtest a lot of hostage maps, I have some strong opinions about hostage, and I think
I did want to push it back at least like a few feet. Like I was trying to push it back, like I was saying, like release a update for the test, but I was just like, a few things didn't work out, so I just kind of left it.
So,
but yeah, that was one of the things, just drawing it back a little bit. I definitely agree. It's just,
I think that's one thing.
As soon as you are out of the building, you win. You know what I mean?
But I think that's really minor, and the reason I think that that's minor, and I think it's not a. I think it's a symptom of other issues, really, more so than anything else, because the problem, kind of as I mentioned, is that it's really hard to know where anybody's going to be. So if I'm right here and somebody picks up that hostage that's on the right there, I have no clue where they're going to come from. They could come from here, here, here. They could even, you know, run up there. Like if I'm, you know, standing at a weird angle, they could just run across. They could go through there. Like they could even come out here. Like there's just so many places, and you just have no idea where anybody is ever if there's a low amount of people. And for that reason, I think if we did this in a 5v5, it would be so insanely frustrating. And I think that people would say there's way too much stuff. And I think even for a 10v10,
you would have to have 2 alive, like at all times, knowing the
I
end.
think you'd have to have more than 2 alive. I think you'd have to have way more than that, because so there's a general rule for maps. It's not set in stone or anything, but usually if you want a map to be not feel like there's just like a flood of people coming at you, or you can't stop them, or you get flanked all the time, generally the theory is that you have 5 main choke points at most across the map, because if you have 5 defenders, obviously if you have 6 choke points and 5 defenders, you're never going to be able to defend them. And you can instantly see, if you look at this map, you can instantly see the problem where you have 1, 2, you could count this as 3, or you could count it as, I would count this as the 3rd one, 4, 5, this is technically a 6th one, you could count this as a 7th one. Yeah, it just gets out of hand really quick, and you can see
too many layers.
You can see, yeah, I mean, there's just too much stuff, and I think the ideas are okay, but I think you have too many in a single map. And I think if you want it to be playable in 5v5, you need to shrink it a lot, or at least like remove like 25% of this inside part of the map. There's just a number I said, but I don't know. I think there's just too much stuff, and I think like so a couple of the things you were talking about, like, or that you guys were talking about, is I don't really agree with Gihori that fun and competitive are 2 different things. I think they are the same thing, but I think that I would not, even if I subscribe to that theory, I would not classify this in the fun category. And the reason I specifically say that is because for 10v10 conceptually it's okay, but the clutter is insane and makes it so like just not. I would not put it in that category solely because of a lot of the clutter. You just get stuck on everything, and also
there is a bit much.
Also as said earlier, is the choke points are so thin, you just get stuck everywhere when you have other teammates around. So yeah, I think there is really no difference between fun and competitive. I think people saying a map is fun and not competitive is a cop-out to say it's poorly designed. Not saying that you necessarily mean Gihori, that's just my opinion, but yeah, that's my thought, is that I don't think they are really different. And I think Hostage is not any different than the Fuse in that regard, and that I think Hostage maps have a very good and well... I think there is a known theory of how to design Hostage maps well, and I think people do it, and I think a lot of the issues that people ascribe to Hostage maps in general is an issue with the game mode and not with maps, because I've played some really good Hostage maps.
I feel like it's the player base, which is an odd thing to say.
Partially, but I think it's entirely the game mode. Once you have an actual balanced Hostage map, I think it's when you have. So I've played with people that really understand Hostage on both teams on different playtests and maps like matchmaking and stuff, and I think the issue is really that the game mode is just so fundamentally flawed. But that doesn't mean that there is no theory for how to design hostage maps well, which I think is a lot of people throw that away and don't even think about that. But there is, and I think that's something that is not. I think that's the misconception, in my opinion, is that there's no good way to design hostage maps when I think that there really is, and people just ascribe all issues to the maps instead of the game mode. Let's see.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, I think a lot of it kind of has to do with a little bit of the map, though, just because it's like, you know,
It can be, but I mean, if you have a well-designed map, like I think you can design the map like as a standard hostage map and it's fine. Like it's not the cause of issues, is what I'm saying. Like I don't think there's an issue with the structure of most hostage maps. It's like that's you know, that's assuming the map is designed well and all that. Like obviously it can be the map, but so another thing that I found in hostage maps specifically is that having huge variance, and Reed kind of touched on this, is having huge variance in spawns is not great for map design. And the reason I say that is because it is so hard, if not impossible, to design multiple good areas to get a hostage from in the same map. So like if you design an area specifically to be like, oh, the hostage is right here, like okay, but then what if you move it somewhere else? Yeah. Like what does that do? Like is it, you have to design multiple areas in that sense, and it's like it just gets so out of hand, and then you have what usually happens is you'll end up with multiple areas that are like not designed super well instead of one well-designed area.
Yeah, I definitely feel you there.
There are a couple of hostage maps that have been in game that do basically have set only 2 hostage spawns, which I very much prefer, and I think it's way easier to design a good map around that instead of
yeah, I tried to just do like zones. You know, I tried to have like a few zones where like, you know, points of contention where you wouldn't be too salty if you had to defend that zone. You know what I mean? Like if you saw that, like, oh, I have to do, you know, this hostage, I'm not like dreading my life because I'm forced into one hallway. Like I don't know. I've felt that many times.
I think what you need to keep in mind with that is even if you have 2 zones like that are well designed, one will always be in some capacity easier or harder than the other, and that's, you know, that's going to have some sort of effect on how people play the map or how people think about the map. Because I will like say with 100% confidence that it is impossible to design multiple zones like that, like where a hostage could spawn one or the other, that are just that played equally as well. I think it is impossible just due to how CS maps are structured. And so I think that's just something to keep in mind.
That would add or subtract from a map's kind of like replayability. You know what I mean?
Here's what I would say.
I think
diffuse maps do not have switching bomb
reduces.
sites. Diffuse maps have set bomb sites. I think that's an okay comparison because I think hostage maps are just so much different, but also not different at all. If that makes sense, like. People treat them as a completely separate thing, but they're not, but they kind of are. But
it's role reversal, but it's also
if you have a good map, the replayability will be there, and you don't need to like add things artificially to increase replayability. I mean, people still play, like Mirage is the most played map in the game, and that's the most stale map in existence, right?
Yeah, I hate.
And it's like, you know, there's something to that, even if a lot of people also hate it. You know, people will play something that is, at least in their mind, well designed, even if it doesn't change or it's one-dimensional. Like, I mean, with that sense, people still play Dust 2 the same way, right? Like, you know, it's one-dimensional, but people still play it, and as long as it's well designed, people will do it. And I don't think you need to add artificial things on top of that to increase replayability. Let's see.
I think to add on to that, it just kind of lowers your potential ceiling for your map, right?
I would say so. Yes.
Yeah, by spreading across like what the objective. You know,
instead of having. Yeah, exactly. You got it. Okay. Other thing. So. You called out the issues with Office earlier, which I largely agree with. I play a lot of Office. I don't particularly like love it, but I play it a lot. Not a lot, but I play it with friends and stuff. So I'm very well versed in how Office plays and what its issues are and all that. And I think you called out the issues correctly with Office, but I also think that your map also has the same issues in some sense. So obviously, as called out with Office, you have like 2 choke points that you just divine smokes the whole around, and that's the whole map, right? But I think
which ones would you smoke off here? I mean,
No,
I
no,
see,
that's what I'm gonna say is like,
oh, okay.
your map is similar. Is the choke points are designed that way in the sense that like that's how you want to play them, but you can't. And so what that does is you get the combination of the thin, narrow hallways of office that are kind of annoying to traverse around and throw utility in sometimes, but also you get, oh, I could be flanked at any time, or like, what's the point in smoking this if people could just go a different way? Like, so like the workaround of adding more paths onto narrow hallways, I don't think is a good workaround, just because you're just adding complexity, but you're adding more narrow routes to fix narrow routes, and I don't think that is the solution. I think that's also the other problem with office-like themes, although it can be done. There have been multiple other maps that have done that, like Agency obviously is basically an office map, and Breach is also basically an office map in some capacity. So I think it can be done, and I don't think narrow hallways need to be done for an office, and I think that is one of the main issues of office, and I think your map also suffers from that. You know, you were talking about how narrow some of these hallways are and stuff, and I think it's basically the same thing. Like, even though you have other ways to get around it, you still suffer from those issues. Like, getting around it is not a solution to having it in the first place, if that makes sense. Like, you're building bypasses to your map when you should just build like fun areas in the first place that you don't need to bypass, if that makes sense.
No, it definitely makes sense. I feel like there's a few areas, like the kitchen area that connects into the paper room and whatnot, is way too chaotic and kind of not used how I intended it at all, which would be, oh, my bad, this area over here behind you. This area just really doesn't get used how I want to. It's too shallow. I kind of put it in a little bit, like, and started tweaking it a little bit too late in the game, you know what I mean? So I was like, you know, like, I don't know exactly how to design it. I kind of tried to do it like, thinking about how people would actually use paper room and like that whole area within like office. And you know, typically you'd see like this kind of thing, you know, you'd see someone like back here in the corner trying to wait and spray it down, and I just feel like if you tried to do that, you would get utterly destroyed from this
Yeah,
angle,
exactly. That's
or,
the
like,
problem, is you can't play in any spots like that because there are too many spots in general.
you would get dick-nated almost every time.
So if you want
someone
spots like that, they need to be more intentionally designed, and they can't just be kind of just thrown around to hope people use them, because people never use them because there's no point.
Yeah, like this area I could definitely see like even just cut out and repurposed, like this whole cross section.
There's so many, there's an infinite amount of things you could do, so I'm not gonna like into theory crafting here, just because I would like you to, you know, think about that on your own, and like I don't want to influence your specific changes too much.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
So I got a couple other very minor things. So you have these upper areas, like Chief called out the one in the alley. You have like this upper one, and you have like right in front of the rescue zone or the spawn, you have like this upper part that you can get to, but it's like never used. I think in a map that's already too complex, there is absolutely no need for this stuff, and if you want it to be used, you have to I think you have to get rid of other stuff at minimum. But
yeah,
I think
while playing it, I think I have to definitely push back CT spawn a little bit to even have this area be used at all, because they were clashing with the T's like up here at the fucking office elbow.
Yeah, I think there's just too much stuff.
Yeah, and they were a little too fast.
If you want people to do something specific, you really just need to limit their options and not hope they just do it, because they will never do it. Other things, really minor, double squeakies, bad. People called out. It's just unnecessary.
Yeah, it seemed really frustrating, and the fact that it closed.
Yeah,
up,
the closing doors is also
nade.
bad, because then you also have no idea where people are again, which just compounds the issue. Just no clue what's going on the map. I said as earlier, the locked doors, I hate it. I've hated it in other maps that have had it, and I just don't think it works.
I had to give it a shot. It seemed like an interesting kind of thing. Like, if I could limit the flow of combat and like where people are going to be going.
The other map that I saw it used in is a wingman map, and you basically only ever have one person in that area, and I don't think it played any better in that scenario. I don't know if that map still has it. I could look, but I don't know. Did I have anything else? I think that's basically it. I think the TLDR, I think It's alright in 10v10. I think there's still way too much clutter and stuff, but in a 5v5, I think it'd be unplayable, and there's just too much map, and you just need to reduce it. I think is my main point. So yeah.
Gotcha. Appreciate it.
So yeah, that's basically all that I have. Does anyone have anything else? I'm gonna...
Oh, I know what it was. So, yeah, we're over here. Is this an actual jump that you can make to the window?
It is a jump.
I wasn't here for that.
Yeah. People were doing it. It's just a little weird at first.
Oh, I see. I'm bonking on this.
Hey, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not too hard.
My bad. This angle, this whole area is meant to be like, it's meant to more be like a way to stop supremacy of the T angles. So by having too many things happen inside the map, it takes a lot of the emphasis away from the strengths here. And I think people just kind of gave it a negative instead of thinking about how CT can use any of these weird spots on the left alley to gain access into the building if they were having trouble entering the building. But while playing it, I just was constantly like afraid over here. I was constantly afraid of like people jumping out of the window and just clapping me or some shit.
Yeah, so on on CT
it's
like
made to be boostable though, is kind of the idea. Like I said, like the idea of this map is a lot of CT working together to achieve their goal, you know, so it may not always work out, but I tried putting as many avenues as I could for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I was just gonna suggest that if this wasn't already if that wasn't already a pathway, because I feel like this path, it's not that fun on this side with the doors, and then it's also not fun to play against. You know, I think there was a round where it was like I had to run from across the other side because the guy was taking the hostage, and I get stuck on this, then I gotta jump out, and I like, you know, I barely hit him, and it's like it doesn't really feel like.
It doesn't flow perfectly. That's kind of why I thought it was interesting that someone was saying how strong it was from the inside. Meanwhile, like I actually feel like it's a little bit weaker from the inside.
The reason, I mean, the reason the inside is good is because there's complexity. This just takes you from hostage to rescue zone with very little, you know, potential to be disrupted.
Yeah, it's meant to be like kind of the obvious flank, like the obvious route if you think you're gonna be sneaky, and then kind of like, I don't know, like easily flanked if they go behind you, you know, like you don't really have much opportunity if they are like literally right behind you at the fire escape area with the double squeaky, and like they just were walking behind you, you know, you have that big open stretch where they just clap you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that was all that one point.
All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna have to leave. So if anybody has anything else, you guys can talk about it. Otherwise, we can text feedback or whatever. No, I got 2 hours.
I
gotta leave. But thank you guys. The demos in the announcement channel, and cool. All right, I'm gonna leave. See you guys. Thank you.